I'm Ken Hockey, Senior Editor of Workboat Magazine, workboat.com, and all things Workboat for that matter, including this, which is our Zoom video series. And today we're talking to Martin Bjuve, Jens Bering from Volvo Penta. Now, as you're looking here, Jens is on the left and Martin is on the right. All right.
Great.
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for taking time with us. So let's get to it. It's the first question that everybody's going to ask today, so I might as well be in that number. And it's about the pandemic. What else is there, right? What has it done to your business? Tell us how you've had to change, if you had to, which most people have. How has the pandemic affected you and your jobs with Volvo Penta?
Should I take a stab first, Jens, on that one?
I think you should, Martin.
You fill in.
I'll follow up.
Well, I think it's been a steep learning curve for us all across the world in this pandemic, and that curve is, of course, still steep for many of us. I would say to start with, we have a very resilient marine commercial business, not only here in North America, but globally for Volvo Penta. And the past 6 months, I would say, or so, has been full of uncertainties, of course. And we don't really know what the future holds. What we really feel encouraged about that we have a very strong team. We have very strong partners out in the market. Jens will talk a little bit about that, I'm sure. And also that we have a diversified customer mix and a diversified project mix out there as well. I mean, we know, we've seen, and we probably know, all of us, that there will be some segments doing better than others. But we are really happy to have that diversification in our partnerships and also in our projects that we have ongoing. So we're still fairly positive about the future, although what the short period has brought us here has been a challenge for us all, of course. Go ahead, Jens.
Yes, thank you, Ken. Good to be with you today. And yes, certainly challenges has been one of them. You know, just like Martin and I sitting here today, you know, we're trying to now I went out of the screen, you know, to be a little bit far apart from one another. But
we are actually further apart than it looks on the screen for the record.
Exactly. So it's. But yes, so you know, we had to be creative. I think just to follow what you're saying there, Ken, and certainly one of the areas that we had to be creative in, you know, was also when it came to how we trained all our dealers, because that came to a screeching halt. You know, because all the classes that we had was, of course, on in-person led courses, and you know, we had to find another gear in our organization, and you know, that went us down the path of then instructor-led, you know, online virtual classes, and you know, that has actually gone really, really well. So since we started back in April, we've now had some 1,000 people go through those online classes. So I think we're really pleased with that, and that continues today. So that's actually now part of just our, I would say now, standard curriculum, and we have now also certified, you know, online, which is a big part. So you know, that's part of the challenges I think we had to come up with, Martin, right?
Absolutely, and we're actually proud to say that we certified the first technician online as last week as well. Yeah. So we're starting to actually certify technicians online as well. And next step in that journey is really that instead of bringing a lot of people here to Chesapeake in Virginia or other locations where we had schools, we start to take training to the dealerships instead. So we're setting up, you know, vans, you know, and make it possible to take the training to the dealerships instead, and to go where it's safe and where they are happy to receive us and do the training. We're coming to them instead of having everybody coming to us, and we see that as a much safer way of doing it going on. So I think that's one of the examples where we have really you know, changed the way we work short term, and it's going to affect the way we work in the longer term as well. I'm sure.
You know, it's, you know, out of something bad, it sometimes comes something good. And I would say, Martin, you know, you gave us a good challenge. So this is one of them, and it was fun. You know, I think our training department and service department did a really good job there. As a side note to that, also, Ken, you know, when it came, you know, to the how did we do during the pandemic, right? I think we managed, with our parts distribution center down in Byhalia, to stay open. Of course, it was, reduced workforce and, to be safe and so on. But I thought we did a really good job of managing the parts distribution side, to keep the marine business going. Certainly, it became really busy, right? And we know that the marine business really took off. So I think that we didn't miss too many deliveries, Martin.
We've had a very good availability and uptime during the entire process. So now that we get a chance to talk about it, we do like to talk about our presence on the distribution side in the US, and we are part of the Volvo Group 1 million square foot distribution center in Byhalia, outside Memphis, as Jens mentioned. And if there's less than a handful of shifts that we have actually had to stop due to the pandemic situation, they have been operating in a fantastic way during this period, and good availability.
So I work for Workboat magazine, so I have to work the Workboat name in there and also what the Workboat is, right? So we want to ask you about Workboat specifically. You see optimism in that sector?
I will let Jens elaborate a little bit on this, on the different parts of the sector in a second. But I would say, I would like to reiterate initially that we are a strong player in the marine commercial industry today. And as I said, we are diversified in the projects that we're in and in the partnerships that we're in. We have a very strong distribution network with a nationwide power center structure that are well ingrained with the business and take care of our customers in a really good way. And they are really our critical link out there. We also have a robust supply chain today with inventory, both with the power centers and also centrally by us here in our distribution center in Tennessee. So we have a very good position and had a very good momentum into this. Then there is a little bit up and down, I would say, between the different segments that we're in, Jens. And I allow you to kind of elaborate a bit more deeper on that, if it's okay.
Absolutely. I mean, Ken, of course, I think everyone has been affected. We know that during this period, and of course the marine segment as such has been affected. We certainly know that there are, fishing and charter vessels and so on. But, like Martin said, right, we're really optimistic because that, we have, I think, a renewed focus within the marine commercial industry or segment for Volvo Penta. And yes, we are a global player, and we have been a global major player for many, many years. And we're really present in so many of those segments, Coast Guard and patrol boats, right? We have been there for many, many years with the military applications and U.S. Coast Guard and so on. And just to maybe bring up one of those segments, which is pilot boats. Some years ago, when we came out with IPS, we thought that, this would be really the perfect propulsion system, for the pilot boat area. And I'm proud to say that our local Virginia Beach pilots, they have now taken delivery of their second IPS vessel. It's a new 55-footer that's built by Gliding Hearn with a Hunt design. And in addition to that, we are also working with Maryland pilots and quite a few others really that's underway right now. But besides that, we're in research vessels, passenger ferries, we're just crew boats. And when we talk about crew boats, we are about to launch now, probably in a month or so, out of San Francisco Bay. It's roughly an 80-foot cat with also twin IPS that's going to be running out there. So, maybe we can have a follow-up, but, so today we are, because of a wide product range, from stern drives, IPS, conventional inboards, and of course we can also couple in front of a water jet, right? We have we have a product range that really lends itself to so many segments, and obviously fishing is a major one of those. We are up in Canada in particular, right, and in Northwest and Northeast, we have many fleets and so on. Besides, we have a whole shrimp boat fleet down in your neck of the woods, down in Louisiana, Simcoe, which we have been repowering some of their vessels with the D13.
So I would say, Jens, if we yeah, go ahead. You can if you have a question.
No, please go ahead.
No, but of course we see some segments being slower here. I mean, based on the segments based on tourism and also fishing has been slower for sure. While we see other segments then being more, keeping a pace on the projects when it comes to Coast Guard, when it comes to pilots, when it comes to offshore wind farm crew vessels and supply vessels, etc.
Yeah.
There's still activity there for sure, and that's why we emphasize we're happy to be in such a diverse customer portfolio and also project portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay, so look into your future, and what do you see for not just for Volvo Penta, but for the industry as a whole? Would you say what's coming?
Well, what we see, and we see this across the segments that we are in. And if I just briefly explain those segments, I mean, Volvo Penta, we are in the marine leisure industry, of course, but we're also in industrial power generation. We are in off-road machinery, and we are in marine commercial, of course. And then we are a part of the Volvo Group, where we see the trends on highway side, we see the trends on the bus side, and we see the trends on construction side. And the real common denominator that we have seen for a while, and as well, Ken, is there is a drive towards more sustainable solutions and alternative fuels, electrification, fuel cells as well, that is coming and making inroads in the industry. And we believe, and we see from a Volvo Group standpoint, that sustainability will be an even stronger driving force, and certainly so within our marine commercial and workboat business as well. We believe that this pandemic has showed us, in the Western world that hasn't seen a pandemic in many years, it was something that happened elsewhere, that we are vulnerable to Mother Nature, and that we will be more attentive to the climate change that is going on in the world. And we welcome that. We feel we have the technology in place today, and we also feel that we have the pipeline of technology to meet that demand as that starts to take off in importance here as a consequence of the pandemic. We clearly see that trend coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I can add to that, Martin, is that so as far as I think what we're excited about is that when we are moving into this new technology, certainly for us, offshore energy sector can, we believe that, when we talk about, in particular, about wind farming, right, offshore wind, that we are, I think, positioned really well. We have, I think, a really good global footprint, in particular over in Europe, where we are well represented with both IPS and also conventional propulsion system. And so when we then draw on that technology, that is, I think, now helping to catapult us forward. I think that is what we are good at Volvo Penta, and we want to continue to expand on that, where we today we go in with a complete propulsion solution. And that's really what IPS or parts they lend themselves to, where it is really from helm to rudder. And I think today when we're getting into this new technology, is that I think most yards and operators, they are looking for a total solutions provider, someone that delivers the complete package. They want us to be the integrator, not the yard to be the integrator. And that's what we have, I think, Martin, the last 15 years now with IPS been so successful at. And so we will continue that approach as we are now getting into this new technology. as a sideline to that, I should also mention, of course, with that, it's of course fuel based, right? That's where we're going with these hybrid vessels. We did launch a first fuel barge, articulated fuel barge that was done by Gunderson Marine in combination together with our power center out in Seattle, and built by Oregon Iron Works, and it has 7 engines in it, which is 4 engines running fuel pumps and then 3 gensets, and they are IMO 3 certified. So that was actually the first IMO 3 certification that we did, and that boat is now launched, and there's a second one now being built, and we've delivered engines for that as well. So sort of to build off what Martin was saying, that we, to be clean, and to be fuel conscious and so on, and this is now what some of our customers, of course, are demanding of us, and to follow up with the regulations.
All right. Well, I appreciate your being with us today. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that last year, Volvo Penta brought me through Jim Rhodes, brought me to Sweden, and I had a great time. And Jim made me drink some Swedish beer, which he didn't have before. He did it too much. Yeah. So anyway, please thank them again for me, and again, thanks for your time, and good luck down the road, huh?
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for having us, Ken. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken.